What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Echocalypse video. Alright guys, we got a special one here for you. I'm going to talk about healers. We're going to specifically focus on two of the main healers in the game currently, probably two of the best ones as a matter of fact, and talk to you whether one is worth having over the other and if you should summon for the brand new banner that's currently out, the Desert Dream banner with Nephtys. So we're going to compare the two of the units, and the two units I'm currently talking about are going to be Nephtys and Deena. Those are probably going to be the two big units for healing at the time, especially now with Global because we don't have all the other units out. And I think it's important to note whether she's worth having over Nephtys and what the difference is between them. Now, a couple things to note before we do this. On the selective draw, you have the opportunity to get yourself Deena copies from here. Okay, so you guys got Zawa here. I'm waiting to get her. But if you are looking for a healer, Deena is available through this. Now, if you look at the banner preview, I don't believe Nephtys is an option, and I'm pretty sure she's not. Yeah, she's not. So you guys can see her. This is not an option to get her, but you do definitely have the option to get yourself copies of Deena multiple times, making this a clear winner for that reason alone. But who's the actual better healer? Because right now we do have the Nephtys banner out, and I do want to draw attention to her because in my opinion she still takes the cake overall. But dupes obviously make a huge difference in this game, as well as currency, and a lot of free-to-play don't want to be using their currency for characters for group up. They want to be using it mostly for limited time characters, especially with Levia coming. But I do want to talk about these two, especially for those players who are brand new and they see this and they're saving up for a healer. Let's discuss both. Okay, so Deena, ironically enough, just clicked on her. Let's talk about her first. Okay, so healing and support. What does she do? So first off, you guys can see here, she does have Bifrost team members resist up. Healer team members get armor plus 10, and then all team members get HP plus 10 if you get her support levels up here in terms of her support abilities. And then her actives, we're going to talk about each one and kind of just compare and contrast. Okay, so for Deena, if you look down on Deena, you will suffer for it. Deena launches an attack that deals 120% magic damage to a single enemy, reduces their target crit rate by 10%. So overall, nothing really big, because 10%, I mean, if you get up to the 3 stars, it's a bigger story. It's 25%, and that can actually take away someone's crit. Someone like Aiken, who has massive crit amounts, can reduce her crit pretty drastically, making her not crit with her special. So depending on where you are star level wise, she can be pretty good for her active, or can be pretty useless with her active, right? You have to remember also at the same time, getting 4 stars is possible through selective and just regular banner pulls, because she can be pulled at any time. Okay, so I'm angry. So this is her actual main heal. A child's treasure box contains infinite wonders. Deena opens her trunk and heals 3 allies with the lowest HP for 170% of her attack and 5% of her max HP. Now this is unique because she does the attack healing, which most healers do, and then also uses 5% of her own max HP. So here you can build one of two ways. You can build her tanky and give her the HP set, or do a combination of both attack and HP. That you don't want to do that usually because you don't get the biggest benefits. Or you can build her for more HP heals with the 170% of attack. So as you increase this though, you guys can see here, it goes 179 to 10%. And then 188 to 15%, and also removing a status effect from a heal target, which is pretty huge. A 4-star, she goes to 20%. So at this point, I'd say at 3 stars, I would start building her with HP set, because max 15% HP, I would imagine, is probably better than her 188% of her attack. I can imagine only, like, because max, like, HP usually scales better, right? Especially for healers. So at this point, I would probably build her a little bit more of a tanky HP set. And then at 4 stars, you can see here now she starts to do one negative effect as well, but 20%. 5 stars, she goes 208% to 25%, and now removes 2 negative effects and 1 control effect from each target. So that's huge. And then at 6 stars, at 7 stars, she actually does 3 allies, 218%, at 30% of her max HP, which is huge. And then, of course, does remove up to 2 negative effects and 2 control effects, and reduces the rage cost for the healed target's next skill by 1. That's massive. So normally if you have a 4-star rage or 4 rage bar attack, you will only need to have 3 now in order to do this. So really, really cool skill. But of course, this is whale territory, and this I am going to cover for whales as well. So you can see here she does bring a lot to the table as a healer. Is great at removing debuffs, good at removing control immunities, really high healing power, probably the highest healing power, and also does pretty decent when you get it to 3-star or 4 stars, I should say, removing some crit percentages from the opponent. Now, her actual passive here, in the first 2 rounds, the damage taken from a single attack does not exceed 45% of her max HP, making it really hard to kill her. You'll notice this whenever you attack with her, or even when she takes her turn, I should say, you'll see a little shield icon above her head, and it'll actually say this. So very important to note that. And as you can see here, it actually goes all the way to 30% of her max HP, so giving you even more abilities to survive. And then 100% of her HP loss is provided as healing to all allies evenly when she performs an active attack. So very important to note. If somebody does try to kill her and it's 100% of her max HP is lost, but she only takes 30% of it, the healing will be active for all healers, or all allies, sorry. So as a pure healer, I don't think there's anyone better than her, okay? So that's her right there. And let's talk about Nephtys now. So same thing, healing, group healing. Difference is, of course, Nebu team versus a Bifrost team. Depending which one you like more, Bifrost, in my opinion, is way better. Healer team, armor plus 10, support all members HP plus 10. So that part's the same, nothing changes there. All right, let's talk about active skills. So in favor of God, that Nephtys can heal the ally with the lowest HP for 114% of her attack. For every 10% HP lost by the target, the healing effect is increased by 5. So you guys can see here the difference is instantly that her basic attack is an actual heal versus a damaging attack that removes crit, right? And it's actually not a bad heal because for every 10% HP lost by the target, the healing effect is increased by 5%. So that's a pretty big deal, right? That can go up fairly quickly. And as you go further down here, the healing gets even more powerful. So from an active attack perspective, no debuff, but a heal. So you can heal every round. That makes a pretty big difference if you're looking for healing capacity, right? Now, it's up to you where you want to go. Minus crit versus heal. I would take personally the heal on a healer than taking the minus crit, right? That's just my take on this. All right, so special. So this is going to be a big deal. This is a gift from God. Nephtys heals 3 allies. So same thing with the lowest percentage using 170% of her attack. So I believe that's exactly the same as Deena. Each enemy with debuffs increases the healing effect by 20%. So this is different. Each enemy with debuffs increases the healing percent by 20%. Now, if the enemies have debuffs, you get a higher percentage. That's what it says here. Now, I'm not sure if this is correct. I haven't tested this. Terrorizer has her. He's not playing the game anymore. I might jump on in his account and see how this goes, but this might mean each ally with debuffs increases the healing effect by 20%, so I'm not 100% sure on that, okay? So we'd have to check that out and test that further. If somebody has tested this, let me know. Is it in fact the enemies that have debuffs, we get more healing, or is it if we have debuffs, the healing goes up? Someone please let me know. If not, I'll do the testing myself. All right, so each enemy with debuff increases the healing effect by 25%. You guys can see here the percentages do go up. Now this here, she applies continuous healing to units in the same row for 1 round. Continuous healing is essentially a regen that happens, and they will heal every round. So that's for the same row. So that's extra healing now. So now it's 3 random allies, and then we get continuous healing for the same row. So really cool there. And then of course you guys can see here the healing effects just keep going up to 35, 197. And then 208 to 40, and then she applies continuous healing now for 2 rounds instead for the same units. And then here she applies continuous healing to units in the same row for 2 rounds. She gains Punish the Guilty. Damage dealt equal to 30% of the excess healing to the enemy with the highest HP. This is massive. So any overhealing that she does hits the opponent with the highest HP for 30% of the extra healing that's caused. That's huge. That's huge. That's a lot of damage, right? So you can see here she can scale really, really high. But there is a caveat here with the debuff part, right? Well, Deena doesn't need that. She just scales off of her own HP and does some reductions. So in regards to overall damage, this could be big for bosses and PvP and just overall PvE in terms of damage, right? But for pure heals, Deena's still definitely better for the pure heal part. Again, because there's no caveat of debuffs involved. Now, her actual passive, this is Judgment of Nephtys, starts the battle with full rage. When she takes damage, the attacker's healing and shield received are reduced by 30% for 1 round. So anybody that hits her, the attacker healing and shields are reduced by 30% for 1 round. So that's pretty big, and it goes all the way up to 50%. So overall, my take on this is simple. Nephtys is probably the better of the 2 units long term because she does the continuous healing. She does Punish the Guilty. But again, this is the whale section. So in my opinion, if you're going to whale, Nephtys is probably the better of the 2 units. If you're going to be going free to play, Deena is probably more than enough to keep you guys healed up and going as far as you need to go as a unit. All right, now I could test both of these for you guys using Terrorizer count. I don't think it's really required, but if I do get you guys saying you guys want to see the test, I can do it. Now, if you look at their arms real quick as well, let me just quickly see if we have, I think this might be hers. Yeah, there we go. So Nephtys, nobody can retreat without the Warden's Order. Increases Nephtys healing for all allies ranged by 10%. So there you go. 10% more healing from the Warden's staff. Now for Deena, is this Deena's? No, this is Vivi's. I have to find Deena's. Just give me a sec, guys. Let me see if I can find it. Which one is Deena's? There it is, Deena. Stop lecturing Deena if you want heals. Deena provides additional healing equal to 150% of her attack to the ally with the lowest HP. So there you go. More healing. So again, 10% more heals versus giving the lowest HP ally another heal. So I still think Deena, from a pure healing perspective, does more for you. So you can definitely, as free-to-play players, continue using Deena. As a whale, you probably want to eventually transition over to Nephtys because she'll help you with more damage output. She'll do better healing overall at the end of it, by the end of it. And also, again, I'm not 100% sure about the whole debuff aspect. I will have to test a little bit more and get back to you guys on that. But if it's enemies having debuffs and you want to have a fairly heavy debuff team, so like a burn team would work fairly well with Nephtys there, or anybody with armor break, resistance break, whatever, right? Those kind of teams. She's a Nebu, and most Nebus do all that, so you should be fine there anyways. So there you guys have it. Those are the two comparisons. So again, my take on this is free to play, selective summons. If you want to go for a pure healer instead of Zawa, go for Deena. And I said this from day one. I said Deena and Zawa should be your two choices. But if you have multiple selective options to go for Deena and you want a pure healer, Deena's your better choice as free to play. As a pay to win, I would say Nephtys works better overall. And I believe on the C version as well, it is different than Global, obviously. She does last longer anyways, and she does do more overall for a damage perspective with her specials at the 7-star level, and does overall better healing because of the continuous healing in regards to being a 7-star versus being a free-to-play Deena. So those are the two takes. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. If you're running both, let me know. Again, I've used them both on Terrorizer. I personally like Nephtys better on his account, but Deena works better on my account, right? So again, free to play versus pay to win. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. All right, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.